we got to talk about what we thought we knew from Saturday night holding true on Sunday afternoon as the College Football Playoff Selection Committee ranked the top 6 teams. I want to go 1 through 4, with number 1 being Alabama to start. And I think this didn't shock us after what was so shocking on Saturday afternoon. We had a Georgia defense that had been destroying people, had absolutely been wrecking shop, allowing just over 6 points per game. Alabama said, we don't even need the starting center. We don't even need John Mechie for the second half. It can be the Bryce Young and Jameson Williams show, and we will put up 41 on the team that we called generational in talent and in prestige. This is the Georgia defense that has 11 guys that could all play in the NFL and all be drafted. And yet, Alabama showed up and was not scared in Georgia's backyard once again for the SEC championship game at Mercedes-Benz. My goodness, Bryce Young won the Heisman Trophy last night. I had been stumping for Jordan Davis all year long. Many of you knew that, but it felt like as we got closer to this pageant contest that is the Heisman Trophy, we were going to crown a running back. We were going to crown a quarterback. And then we saw Bryce Young go at this Georgia defense like nobody has gone at this Georgia defense all season long. We saw Jameson Williams absolutely not fly, but soar past that Georgia secondary to win the SEC championship game. And so the more things changed, the more they stay the same. Alabama and Nick Saban have 2 games to win to defend their 2020 national championship game. Now, there are those of y'all that have some Texas A&M fans in your life that are probably going to try to claim a national championship off of having beat the number 1 team in the country as we head into the bowl season and college football playoff. But look, I'm not going to say that wasn't a great win for them. I also am going to add they lost 4 games. And number 3, we have Georgia, who we'll get to find out a lot about. Are they reeling off of this loss from Alabama? Because we had agreed this was the greatest team in college football all season long, and in large part due to that defense. But they were great at attacking the secondary in particular, but the middle of the field against Kirby Smart and Dan Lanning. Dan Lanning, who I thought was coming into his own as a play caller, and with those studs that they had all over the defense, and yet you couldn't get what you needed out of Stetson Bennett. You couldn't get what you needed out of James Cook. You got George Pickens back. It was not enough to get you past that hump that is Alabama. It's the kind of hurdle that you think could plague them going into this. Because, yes, we could end up with yet another SEC title game, but not if Georgia's playing the kind of football that they played against Alabama. They're going to get a tough challenge against Michigan in the Orange Bowl. I'm excited for that one because I feel – once again, like this is old school football, right? And by old school, I mean the late 90s into the early 2000s, where you're powered by your run game, where your offensive linemen are doing most of the work in the run block, and your defenses are not afraid to line up and go straight at your chest to say, no, we know what you're in, and we're going to be aggressive. We're going to blitz you. We're going to come off the edges. We're going to see if you can beat us doing something that we're going to take away from you. What are you going to take away from Michigan? Are you going to try to take away Hassan Haskins and make Cade McNamara throw the football? Sure you are. But has that worked for the majority of the teams later in this season? And for the folks that want to evaluate teams from week to week as opposed to what did they do over the course of the season, this is going to be an interesting year to look at because if we're looking at what Michigan is, nobody would have seen this from them to start the season. And yet, they won this game last night against Iowa in much the same way that they won the game against Washington. The difference is Washington is not that good, right? We'll leave it there. And we all thought that Iowa was a better football team. Perhaps not a world-beating football team, but still the number 13 team in the country at the time that they played the Big Ten championship game. And yet it felt like a home game. It felt like Iowa was just overmatched from the jump. And this feels like a Michigan team that could be a team of destiny. We'll find out. Thanks for watching this video. And remember, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any other videos on the #1 Ranked Show YouTube channel.